So is the market starting to regain its momentum, or is more volatility ahead? Let's ask Alger's Ankur Crawford. She's back with us at Post 9. Welcome back.
Good to be here.
I feel like you've gotten more cautious since the last time I saw you. As I look at the notes, I see phrases, it's a delicate balancing act, likely range bound, until there's certainty, lean more defensively. This is a change, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, things have changed. And so one can't stick their head in the sand and pretend like nothing has changed. Things have changed. We threw a huge wrench into the global economic prospects, to the geopolitics in which we live. So, part of being an investor is actually having that ability to change and recognize we're in a changing environment.
You say, as well, as an investor, you don't have to do something every day. But there are days that come around where things feel really bad,
yeah,
and you wish you did, and maybe you didn't. Are we here yet?
So I think we're in a really interesting spot where stocks have come in a lot. There are some stocks that are down 50%. Have the fundamentals changed? The fundamentals may have changed as the economy slows, and it slows faster than we think. However, the valuations are becoming more compelling. But you have to act, the day that it feels really bad and we need to do it right now. I think there has to be a little bit more prowess of understanding what is happening in the economy. And as long as the goalposts are changing and they're not set, I think it's really hard for the market to go back to highs.
When you're talking about things changing and fundamentals changing and goalposts changing, are we mostly getting to earnings changing, and therefore you're not exactly sure what's of value now because you're not really sure what earnings are going to be?
I think it more stems from what the Trump administration is doing with the tariffs and the impact it will have on company revenues and earnings, the consumer. So there's a clear kind of waterfall effect into our economy with the tariffs.
Even if you get deals, you're suggesting that some of the damage has been done, which maybe hasn't been fully felt yet.
Oh, for sure. Right. But look, once we get deals, it will be easier to move forward because then we at least know which direction to go. Versus right now there's 145% tariff. No, now it's 0. Oh, no, it's 20%. It's 10%. So we're a little bit all over the map.
Yeah, it's been a whiplash.
It's been a whiplash. And so if you're a CEO, how do you even work in this environment? I agree with all the people who are saying that I think companies won't be able to guide. Because it is an ever-changing environment where, a single tweet is changing the outcomes. So, and that's why I say, right now we might be in this, kind of a back and forth market. Mm-hmm. There are values that are setting up. There are companies that are, that on a long-term basis, and when I'm thinking long-term, I'm saying even over the next 6 months, that I think are going to come through this just beautifully. And, I think that the AI trade is actually quite misunderstood.
In what way?
If you look at where NVIDIA is trading today, it trades at less than a market multiple, even on cut numbers on 2026. Demand for GPUs is through the roof. Sam Altman, tweets every day about how he needs more GPUs. You have tweets about GPUs melting because they're being so overused. Mm-hmm. So when there's such demand for a product, and it is an existential need for companies like Google to invest, I'm pretty sure that NVIDIA's kind of prospects over the next few years are just fine.
But what about GPUs in a declining GDP universe? What Satya Nadella was talking about, we're spending all this money, but we're still tied to GDP and where economic growth is to at least some degree.
So I think people are trying to take Capex And they're assuming Capex is all one big lump and all of it goes to GPUs. There's in fact a Capex that is devoted to AI, and there is a Capex that is devoted to non-AI kind of regular cloud spend. When people are talking about, when Satya is referring to, yes, we're going to have to pull back on Capex, or if he's referring to that, I believe he is referring to the non-AI part. Versus, and Satya is a little bit different because he's Microsoft and they're pulling back from the OpenAI relationship, but it's that non-AI part that's at risk. NVIDIA doesn't play in the non-AI part of the data center. They are only on the accelerated compute part of the data center.